found it.
All of it began the first time some of you who know better and are old enough to know better let young people think that they had the right to choose the laws they would obey as long as they were doing it in the name of social protest.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not, generally speaking, unruly. But fires have been started, and there's a crowd.
So, okay, welcome to episode 1. I am Boomer, and this is my compatriot. And he's gone by many names, so we're going to call him Tonto. Hello, Tonto. All right, and our focus on this show is we're going to cover just really basic news of the week. Normally, like the top 3 stories that catch our eye that aren't necessarily the top 3 stories for the nation, but what really seems a focus for us. So we'll do, without much further ado, story number 1. Kamala Harris has been named as vice president. Or, I'm sorry, as candidate for vice president. If you read New York Times, she's already been named the president. Their glowing reviews. She is the president now. And I don't know what happened to Biden. And maybe she'll pick a running mate soon.
Right.
Okay. But let's cover over who Kamala is. Well, actually, first, Tonto, what do you think about Kamala Harris as a pick?
Well, I mean, we all knew that she was going to end up being picked. I mean, it was leaked weeks in advance, that he was going to pick her. I mean, they had that whole announcement leaked out that he was going to pick Kamala. So, I mean, it was known ahead of time. So it wasn't a big surprise that he was going to pick her.
Yeah. So, it was one of those sites that they're like, oh, this is just a write-up. They do it ahead of time. And lo and behold, Kamala Harris. And it was
the only one. It was the only one that was leaked. It's not like he had a whole bunch of different ones that leaked out, like a whole bunch of different candidates. It was the only one that was leaked out. So it was going to be her no matter what.
That's true. True. Well, I was misinformed. See, I heard there were 2 main candidates that were kind of being bandied about in my sphere, which was Rice and Harris. And so I was talking to the beloved love of my life, Pickles, and I misquote which Rice it was. I thought, in a revolutionary move, Biden might pick Condoleezza Rice. Do you remember Condoleezza Rice? She served under
Condoleezza Rice.
She served under Bush, but here's the thing. She's a Republican. He's a Democrat. It would be the first combined ticket in I don't know how many decades of presidents. I have no idea when the last time that happened is. And that would have been amazing. But no, Susan Rice. So do you know who Susan Rice is?
No, I do not.
Okay. Susan Rice is the one that during the Benghazi incident, she claimed the whole reason all of those Islamic terrorists actually took over an embassy and killed our Asians was because of a viral video.
But based on the best information we have to date, what our assessment is as of the present is in fact what it began spontaneously in Benghazi as a reaction to what had transpired some hours earlier in Cairo, where of course, as you know, there was a violent protest outside of our embassy sparked by this hateful video.
How does that even get into someone's mind that the reason why people would take over an embassy is because of a viral video?
Right? And that's just what she's known for. She was the one who spearheaded that effort. And now she was in the running. Well, she's not anymore, and they picked Harris. Kamala Harris was knocked out way early on. And she was knocked out by Tulsi Gabbard. She's got a history. So
she does have a history.
Let's go over Harris's history.
Well, I know that she's not as liberal as a lot of liberals, but she's also not as conservative. So she's kind of I know we were watching stuff last night, and the person last night was saying that she's a chameleon. She changes her face to suit whatever she needs to suit in order to gain favor with whoever she needs to gain favor with.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, such is the nature of a lot of politicians too.
Right.
Did you see the clip in which I think it was it Tucker Carlson? It might have been Tucker Carlson. I can't remember. Getting corrected on her name, like the
Yes,
pundit
yes.
was like, no, it's Kamala Harris.
No.
Tucker, can I just say one quick thing, because this is something that will serve you and your fellow hosts on Fox. Her name is pronounced comma, like the punctuation mark la, Kamala. Okay? Seriously, I've heard every sort of bastardization
so
of
what?
that.
So okay, coming back to Kamala, let's see. So we found an article on Politico on like a bunch of stuff about her. So we'll run down a few of these. Her first 3 years as district attorney, she drove up San Francisco's conviction rate from 52 to 67%. Now this could be seen as like really being effectual, right? Oh, this is great. Mm-hmm. She decided to bring down truancy. She would push to jail parents.
I would not be standing here were it not for the education I received. And I know many of us will say the same thing. And I believe a child going without an education is tantamount to a crime. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. Well, this was a little controversial in San Francisco.
So, because you have a kid and your kid doesn't go to school, you can get jailed. Now, this is a known problem in black and minority families anyway, where the kid is truant. But you know what else they have? 3 strike laws. So if your parent has 2 strikes, they're doing the best they can, and you skip school because it's a pep rally, and you just don't want to do it, and you went down to the Starbucks. Now your parent gets another strike. They get jailed.
Right.
Like, she's affecting in the most horrible way the people who are depending on her, and she says that she supports. There's a joke going around that when Joe Biden picked Kamala Harris as his running mate, he picked the only person who possibly jailed more black people than he did.
Yeah.
And the thing that people are going off about too is they're saying that, oh, she's gonna rip Pence up. She's gonna rip Pence up. And Bill Kristol, he's a pundit, doesn't want presidential debates at all. He just wants her to debate Pence. Well, we're not electing the fucking.
Pence is excited.
Well, I hope he comes out swinging. He's kind of he's kind of anemic. Whenever you see him, he looks very stiff. He looks what you think of as an old white politician. So I hope he comes out swinging. What would be amazing, if she would agree to it, is for Trump to dump Pence, which won't happen. But Trump to dump Pence and put Tulsi Gabbard as his VP pick. Because Tulsi Gabbard is what knocked Kamala out. And honestly, if Trump jumped on the unifying train versus Biden, it would go farther. He's got more to gain out of it. And like that just goes to my old theory, though. The reason that Trump was unflappable in 2016 and greatly since is he already started at the bottom. He already started as a garbage heap. And so he has no moral losses to make. You already think he's a piece of crap. So if you're going, but Trump's a piece of shit, and he said that he grabbed women by the privates. Yeah, but you already thought that about him.
Right.
Like, that didn't surprise you.
So guess what? We already knew what Trump was before he started running for president.
Right. 100%.
He was a public figure on the TV all the time. I mean, shoot, he was on WWF.
Right. And he plays to that. And everybody so much has happened, Tonto. So much has happened that we forget that the second year of his presidency, they pushed a meme in which he in WWF was body slamming a body with the face of the CNN logo. And CNN doxed the person who made the meme. Do you remember that? They put his name on their website. And then they retracted it when he promised he wouldn't do it again. A major media company went after a solitary individual for putting out a piece of a GIF that they didn't like. And they claimed for weeks that this is where this is where Trump was pushing violence against the media. So you don't remember that because it's been years. It's been 3 years since that happened. And that's exactly how they can you believe, because I couldn't, a major news corporation stops the presses and seeks out someone who made a GIF and persecuted them and got a promise that we'll never make that again. Like the silencing of that, the effect of that, that's real fascism. That's real being a dictator. That if you dare speak out, we will destroy you. And that leads into everything else that's going on. But we've talked forever on this. I'm sorry. So we'll cut this down and we'll move on to the second thing. What do you think for our second story? Do you want to hit on the fact that in Portland, with the support of a city council member and the DA, a citizens peaceful militia essentially kidnapped federal agents in 2 buses to keep...
Was it Portland?
It was Bend, Oregon. Sorry.
Bend.
Okay. And I've got a clip. I haven't completely got it yet because it's huge, but I've got a clip of that that we'll cut down.
Did you say technically kidnapping? I mean, they did hold them there. How long was that?
2 hours.
Holding them there. 2 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Felt like it was longer.
Well, it was 2 hours. It was 2 hours by the time we tuned in.
Right.
So 3 hours?
About 3 hours, wasn't it?
Yep.
By the time they got other ICE out there in order to pull, what was it? Just 2 detainees on a bus, right?
2 detainees. And the word I read was how this happened was they gave him a phone call. They gave one of the detainees a phone call. He called his wife. His wife called Antifa and the protesters. And that's what happened. So,
which, I mean, giving a phone call to an illegal sounds like a fair legal right to do, right? I mean, give someone a phone call, let their family know, hey, I got picked up, I'm probably getting deported, or something. And, then the wife ended up calling Antifa. And all of a sudden, this giant protest shows up.
Hundreds of
mob, militia, whatever you want to call it, shows up. This councilman parks his van or vehicle in front of the bus so it can't move. Everyone, I mean, it was a shit show last night.
Yeah, and just for the people looking for this, because I'm a big fan of actual definitions, not redefined words. Under federal and state law, kidnapping is commonly defined as the taking of a person or from one place to another against their will, or the confinement of a person in a controlled space. That's from criminal.findlaw.com. So, find law.
This was on private property. This was on a hotel's parking lot, right?
Right. And the hotel had called police saying, all these people are trespassing. We want them all off the property. Not on ICE, on the protesters. And the police said, no, sorry, You know why? Because, Oregon is a sanctuary state. They've been ordered by their governor not to interact with ICE. So
but they were not calling the police to interfere with ICE. They were calling police to interfere with the people on their private property. The police should have shown up to deal with the people on their private property.
Mm-hmm.
And the police still were like, oh, no, we can't interfere. That was just some total crap. They should have interfered with the people on their private property.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They should have done what they were paid to do. What they were hired to do. But now we have a council member. We have a DA. And the thing I was trying to forward you to on this is the DA is rumored, and I when I say rumored, out of his own mouth, said he sat down with a major organizer of Antifa before he was elected.
Oh, jeez.
So, it's garbage people.
Right.
But this is also, this is rebellion, open rebellion against your own government. Wasn't
Antifa considered a terrorist organization already?
They keep trying. But then in your what's the term? On the other side, the Democrats, Jerry Nadler, says they're a myth. Not only does he say they're a myth, he says the riots are a myth.
Oh, okay. Someone's living in a delusion.
Right.
Well, I mean, we watched stuff last night that was definitely not a myth.
No, right. They're filming it themselves, and the Democratic Party won't even address that it's happening.
I mean, I watched a bunch of people throwing fireworks at police officers last night. That is definitely not a myth.
Right? Exactly. But like I said, they won't even acknowledge that it's happening. So what were we thinking about for number 3? I forget.
Well, I think we were going to switch over to the USPS story.
Yeah, we got USPS. So
I don't know, because we really didn't research USPS story all that much.
Well, I've got let's do 2 short ones. On USPS, Jamie Lee Curtis took a picture of somebody transporting a mail truck for service on the road. So on a flatbed tow truck, they had loaded up a USPS truck and claimed it was the Republicans stealing a mail truck, messing with the election. So,
and this was who again?
Jamie Lee Curtis of Halloween.
Of Halloween.
Of all kinds of movies. And what is it? Activa. She used to be their spokesperson.
Right.
So there's one. That one's interesting. The other one that was kind of on the back of my mind is it appears that the Democrats are shunning their progressives. It appears it is the night of the long knives for the progressives in the Democratic Party. There are 2 things that have happened. The Young Turks were denied a press pass to the Democratic National Convention.
Well,
and they're
Young Turks. I mean, they
no, but they're massive, and they've been backing up. They've been backing up the Democrats against their own senses because they weren't Trump. So they've been backing up the old guard just to own Trump, and now they're not being allowed. And AOC, their biggest progressive firebrand, was going to speak today. She had a pre-recorded speech. They cut it down to 60 seconds.
Yeah, they gave her 1 minute.
Yep. So, it's possible they're jettisoning a narrative because they plan, if they take control, because here's the thing, if they can take control, if they win the next election, do you think there will be riots? No, probably. I don't think so. I think there'll be one or two protests, and it'll disappear.
Right.
If Trump wins, do you think there'll be riots?
Oh yeah.
They'll burn down cities, right?
Yeah.
And it'll go for probably a couple more months, at least, if nothing else happens. I think it's my feeling that Antifa is basically the brown shirts of the Democratic Party. They call out these revolutionaries, they light shit on fire, they try to terrorize the public to make it seem like it'll all go away if they just go over to the Democratic side and give them power.
I mean, it is basically trying to strong arm everybody into just doing it their way, or else they're just going to cause anarchy.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We'll see what happens next week, and me and you will come back together. We'll see. We'll see what's going on.
We'll see what goes on, man. I mean,
We have 83 days or 82 days. 82 days until the election.
right.
So, and that's it. I guess that's it for episode 1. And remember, folks, if you don't vote for Joe Biden, as he said himself, you ain't black.
Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.